Today I'm gonna take y'all through the differences of off-season training versus in-season training. Now, off-season training, that's when you're doing your higher intensity, your higher loads, your higher volumes. I'm gonna define all this. In-season training, you got higher intensity, but your volume is much lower because you have to account for what's happening in the game. When we talk about off-season, volume, that's just the amount of work you're doing, whereas intensity, that's like how heavy the bar is. When you're in the off season, you want to have higher peaks of volume. The amount of work you want to do is going to be more, but the intensity is going to be relatively lower, right? There will be spikes, but overall it'll be relatively lower. 3 different periods for off season training that we want to focus on. We want to focus on accumulation. That's, again, doing more volume, as much work as you can do within a given time period. Then we want to talk about the intensification. We start to get a little bit more weight on the bar, things are a little bit heavier, and then we talk about realization. Realization is when we start to move the bar a little bit faster, things start to look a little bit more game speed, everything's a lot faster, a lot quicker, preparing us for some on-court type of work. On the in-season time period, things look completely different. However much volume or accumulation we've gotten, that's the most that we're going to be able to get. We can't get any more in season because when we're trying to accumulate volume in season, that conflicts directly with the resources. We only have a set amount of resources for our human body to recover, to adapt, all that kind of stuff. When we talk about in season, we want all our resources going to game stuff for the most part. Our training is going to have to complement that. Our training is not the main thing, it's a side thing. The game is the main thing. The way we account for that is training less total days, but higher intensity. For example, in season, you're probably only training 2 days plus or minus 1. What does plus or minus 1 mean? It means if your game schedule is maybe a Thursday, Saturday, you're training either 2 days, but sometimes maybe you'll have an intense practice. Maybe you only train 1 heavy day that week with your weights. That's okay. Also, maybe you have a Thursday game canceled, maybe you get 3 days. It fluctuates based off your basketball schedule. Overall, that's what training off-season versus in-season looks like.